Hello there. We are live. How are you guys? I'm going to give us a couple minutes for people to tune on in for the live pricing chat. I'm so excited, you guys. I've been prepping for this for a couple days now, so I'm so excited you're finally here. I'm going to just actually hop on over to where the live stream is streaming and add a little something for you guys real quick. How is everybody doing today? I hope you are well. And we're going to talk about pricing today. I invited you here for something that I have not really done before, where I'm like, hey, we're doing this live. We're doing it not on Instagram. We're doing it not on Facebook. And I'm really, really psyched about it. That's the truth, because I like trying new things, as you may know, if you've been following me for a while. And I love trying new things here with you live. So we're doing something brand new, live streaming, and answering questions that you guys sent to me. And I'm adding a link, I'm adding a button to my page right now as we speak too. So if I look a little distracted right now, that's why. I'm adding a little button just for people who are tuning in live to the live stream. So live offer for early birds. Yes, ma'am. That's what we're doing right now. If you are tuning in here, I so appreciate you coming. And I'm so excited to share with you a couple of really important things that are really, really easy to miss in our business. People can often think, oh, well, I turned a profit, right? So if I turned a profit, then my business must be profitable. So what I want to do is I want to give you some clarity today around, like, what does it really mean to have some profit clarity? What should you be aiming for? How do you know if you're reaching your profit goal or if you're exceeding your profit goal and you're like crushing it out there? Because some people are able to do that. So I don't want to assume that you're here because you only have pricing problems, right? You might be here because you want to do a little checkup and make sure that the pricing that you're already familiar with, that you actually are achieving your margins, right? So I'm really psyched to dive into some of this stuff today. And these are things that I have talked about for years now. I am known for chatting about pricing from time to time because I think it's so important for you to not only fully understand like what your markups are and how to apply a design fee, but what your potential is, right? Like, what is your earning potential? Especially in a time where like things are a little choppy. Things are a little choppy in the event industry right now. How do we make sure we're keeping as much of our money as possible at a time when we might have sales that are down or off, or, you know, the few weddings that maybe you do still have for this year? You got to make sure you're making the most possible profit on each of those events. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to, like I said, I love to try new things live with you guys. Thanks for being here with me. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a little screen share today, which I never, ever do because I'm always like nervous. The tech is going to be all whack. So I'm going to share with you some slides I prepared, a little presentation here about getting these numbers together in a way that's not at all scary for you, so you can really just take a look at how you're doing right now, what your potential is. Like, do you have a little profit gap to fill here where you should be keeping a little bit more, or are you right on track? So we're going to dive right on into that. And I'm going to start now because I've given you a couple minutes to tune in. And I know that some people are going to watch on a replay. I originally wasn't going to make a replay available, to be honest, because, like, you know, it's live. It's a live thing. You got to be here live. But I know that people are homeschooling, right? People have not always got the time to just sit and engage for an hour. So I will make a replay available, but I do want to make sure that anybody who's here live gets a little special thanks from me. And so you will see, you should see a button already pop up to give you an option to take advantage of a special price today on my flower math sale. But this is the 5th anniversary of my flower math course, and I'm super excited to kick this season off. So let's just get started with my little presentation here on really getting to the heart of your numbers, right? Maximizing your income and stopped sharing. Can you guys hear me now? Do I have to maybe abandon my slides? I'm so impressed you guys are still here, even though you couldn't hear me. Will you let me know if you can hear me now? And sorry, I didn't see your comment earlier. Let's see. Let's see. I don't see you guys saying whether you can hear me or not. I can always restart this stream right here on this page. This is why we always have an adventure when you're here with me, you guys. Okay, so now you can hear me. You can hear me rambling. Okay, great. Let me try it one more time since you guys are commenting. I love you so much for doing that. Can you hear me now if both me and the stream are going? I'm going to wait 1 second because I think I'm getting delayed comments that you can hear me. I want to see if you can hear me with the slides showing, and should I start the whole thing over again? Why don't you guys advise me on how to proceed from here? I'm going to wait and see if you say that you cannot hear me again. All right, I see a yes, so I'm thinking maybe you can actually still hear me. All right, I'm going to try it like this, you guys. Is this okay? Can you see okay like this? And I'm getting a lot of yeses. Okay, good, good. Thank you so much for letting me know you had a problem. Shall I go back? This will be the one. Do you want me to go back, or do you want me to just keep moving forward? I don't want to like bore you if you did hear some of it. Yes, you can hear with the slides. Okay, great. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for sticking with me. So here, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to the very beginning. Maybe not the very, very beginning. But the idea of today's chat is I want you to feel really empowered that you're in the right place, right? If you want to make money with your business, right? So if you are a floral designer, if you are a home studio florist, if you own a brick and mortar shop, right? This is for you today. This chat is for you. Thanks so much, you guys. I mean, all good, all good. It wouldn't have been exciting if there wasn't a glitch. So I appreciate you guys so much. And what you're going to learn when you hang out with me here today is we're going to talk about 3 numbers that florists need to know. You know what I just realized? I can actually make myself, hold on, other way. I want to do it the other way. I can make myself small. How's that? Probably even better, right? There we go. So what you're going to learn here today is, and Hillary just asked if I can change it to presentation mode. The only reason I can't change it to presentation mode is because then I wouldn't be able to see your comments and your stuff. So that's why I've got to do it this way. So hopefully this is going to work out all right. So what you're going to learn today are really the most important pieces, I think, of your pricing, the way you double check your pricing, the way that you track to make sure you're on point. So the 3 numbers that florists need to know, right? So that you can focus on the most important numbers in your business. And then the 3 steps to calculate your profit margin, because you cannot improve what you do not measure, okay? And we're also going to talk about the importance of setting a profit goal, not a spending goal, so that you can maximize your profit margin, okay? And then I will also address your questions live as well. So this chat today is not for you if you don't have a desire to be profitable. If you're like, I just do this for a hobby, I do this because I like love floral design, I only do this for friends and family, then this isn't for you. You're not going to want to tune in and hear all about how to make money if you're not actually interested in making money, right? So this is also not going to be for you if you're going to get annoyed when I tell you about my Flower Math fall sale, because I'm going to be offering that to you. It is my 5th anniversary of Flower Math, and I'm really excited to offer this sale price to you guys. So if that's going to annoy you, yeah, you're not going to want to be here. All right. So when you tune in today live, I have a special fast acting early bird price for you. So you should see a button appear right on the page where you are watching this chat. And this is just going to be live offer until like 1:30 today, and then it's gone. So this is going to be extra savings for you on the Flower Math sale price just for live attendees. You also get the bonus that I'm offering during the sale. And I couldn't wait till the end to tell you because, well, I just know that some of you can't stay tuned for the whole thing. And this really is intended for people who tuned in live today. And so I wanted you to know that this offer exists if you have to like start homeschooling your kid in a few minutes or something. Because while I like to imagine that you are doing absolutely nothing other than completely paying attention to every word I am saying, hanging on my every word, I know that y'all have a lot going on right now, and you run a business and you have a family probably. So here's your offer in the beginning so you don't miss out. If you're not familiar with me by any chance, let me introduce myself. I'm Allison Ellis of realflowerbusiness.com. I started my business in 2002 after years of training in flower shops. I worked and I learned in several shops, probably about maybe 7 or 8 shops over the years. And I graduated in 2000 with a Bachelor of Science in Plant and Soil Science and a minor in small business. So I'm kind of one of those weird people who sort of like uses my degrees in my job. I started my home studio floral business out of my 2nd-story apartment. I invested nothing. I had nothing. I invested nothing. And I just opened my business just with a little, what I call my bag of tricks, like few little tools in a bag and just working out of my apartment kitchen. And I booked only 1 wedding my first year in business, and it felt like a huge success to me. I was really, 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 really excited to have that 1 wedding. And it was an all sunflower wedding, and I still was excited about it. That's how you know, you guys, that's how you know I love this work and I love this job. I was excited about a sunflower wedding, right? I was excited about an all sunflower wedding. So even when my business was still a side gig, when I still had to work other jobs, I knew exactly how to bring cash into my business. I didn't second guess myself on the value I was providing, and I always turned a profit on every order. And because of this, my business grew steadily, right? So thanks to that strong pricing foundation, I know how to maximize my profit. So I can pay myself more. I can invest in training and workshops. I was eventually able to quit my other jobs, right? Because I had seasonal jobs that eventually I was able to finally say, I'm not working for somebody else anymore. And I also give myself pay increases from time to time because I'm able to maximize my margins. So it wasn't actually until I met other florists at a workshop that I realized that some florists didn't actually learn these industry standard pricing formulas. And some florists know the formulas, but they were still overfilling orders because they just plain old feel guilty charging the industry standards, which blew my mind. And then I realized that some florists don't even look at their numbers because they actually don't know what to aim for. So then a designer at the workshop called me the pricing guru, right? I'll never forget her saying, like, Allison, you're the pricing guru. And that's when I knew that the formulas that were my path to profitability weren't as clear to other people. But I knew that I could share these steps and they're just steps I follow, right? It's nothing I made up. It's stuff that I learned consistently, that if I could just teach people how to follow these same steps, they would get the same results. So that's when I immediately got to work on flower math. I created this course to teach florists how to maximize their profits and increase their income. And Flower Math was born in 2015. And I've been teaching florists how to price for profit ever since. I'm super passionate about helping florists make as much money as possible, because floristry isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, right? We work really hard to do the work that we do. And so it's really important that we get paid for that time. So florists tell me that they've increased their pricing confidence and their income just by following these industry standard formulas, right? The same formulas that I learned in flower shops. And they also tell me that flower math isn't just for newbies. Even 20-year floral veterans have told me that they realized they were leaving money on the table, because we all get bad habits from time to time. So if one of your bad habits happens to be around pricing or overspending, you're gonna realize that you're leaving money on the table. So the point is, if I can do this and my students can do this, then I know that you can do it too, okay? So even though you might think like, I must be really good at math, or I use some fancy software system, the truth is I'm actually not great at math. The flower math formulas are just that easy to follow, right? That you don't have to be good at math or have special technology to be able to maximize your profit margin. So even though I'm super confident in my pricing, I still double check my formulas to make sure I'm filling orders to value, right? So it's not like I just, eyeball something and price it, right? I'm always checking and double checking the math. So here are a couple of things I want you to keep in mind. It doesn't matter if you work from home or if you own a flower shop. You can charge the industry standards for your work. It's actually best for the industry if we all charge properly for our work. And you can provide value to your clients at the same time, right? So price like a boss and provide value. You can totally do it. So do you calculate your profit margins? Feel free to shoot me a little yes or a no. Tell me what you do. Do you calculate your profit margins? Is that something that you actually pay attention to? The answer should be yes, right? The answer should be yes. You should absolutely calculate your profit margins on your weddings, events. If you have a flower shop, why not calculate them on the weekly? You could do them daily even, but at least do them weekly to see if you're reaching those margins. So I'm going to take a second and see if I got any comments. Nobody's fessing up to whether they calculate their margins or not. I know a lot of people don't, but I'll show you how easy it is so that you can do it. So you might say like, I didn't lose money on this order, so I obviously turned a profit, right? But if you don't know your numbers, then you don't know your business. And I know that can be hard to hear sometimes, because we're like, but I'm so great at floral design. I'm great at my business, right? But the numbers are the business as well. So we really do need to know our numbers. So let's dive into the 3 most important numbers to know. When you zero in on the 3 vital numbers that your business needs to understand, that's when you can start to maximize your profit margin without having to do a ton of math, okay? It's really, truly easy. I would not tell you it's easy if it was not easy, by the way. So before we dive into the 3 numbers you must know, let's look at 3 numbers that you can stop focusing on, okay? Fans, followers, and likes. These are things that florists are way too focused on right now. How many likes did this photo get? How many people are following me on Instagram? How many fans on this? How many views on that? What's more important than tracking how many people are liking or giving you approval, right, is how much money is your business bringing in? I know a lot of people that don't have a ton of followers, don't get a ton of likes, but have a ton of money, right? So that's what we really want to focus on, is the numbers that really matter, the numbers that truly matter, not the artificial feeling that we're successful because, 85 people liked a photo today and only 35 people liked a photo yesterday, so we must be doing better today, right? That isn't actually a gauge for your business in terms of like your success and your longevity, right? Because those likes and fans and followers can be fleeting. So let's focus in on the numbers you want to know. So the 3 most important numbers you want to focus on are your sales, right? Your cost of goods, and your profit margin. So these are all things you're probably familiar with, right? If you have a business, you're not unfamiliar with the idea of sales, COGS, right? So your COGS are your cost of goods sold. And that includes everything you buy for your business, right? Everything you spend. For the purposes of today's conversation, we're going to talk about your cost of flowers and supplies when we're talking about the profit margin I want you to reach. So I want to make sure we're really clear about your COGS overall, and then your COGS, just your flowers and supplies. Let's see, I see a few comments coming in here. Hillary says, yes, I try to. Okay, great. That's awesome. So she tries to track her profits. Robin says, I do, but I'm not 100% clear on all of it. Okay, great. Let's get you clear on it today, Robin. And then Hillary says, I'm guilty of overfilling. You're not alone. A lot of people are guilty of overfilling. So don't beat yourself up over it, but hopefully today we can just sort of help zero in on what your goal is for the profit margin, so that you can recognize a moment when you might be overfilling and course correct right there. So thanks for the feedback. Aside from telling me you couldn't hear me before, which was invaluable feedback, I appreciate hearing those things too. Okay, so why is tracking profits so important? The simple answer is because you cannot improve what you do not measure, right? So how are you going to increase your income and improve your margins if you're not tracking them? It's really just that simple. So if the only reason to track your margins is just so you can see where you have room for improvement, or if you're already hitting the mark, that's why we want to do it. So truly easy steps to calculate the profit margin. So let's dive into that. All you're going to do is add up your amount of money spent on your flowers and supplies. And again, for just these purposes of figuring out your profit margin, we're just talking about flowers and supplies when we call them COGS here. Then you're going to take the sale, your wedding sale. So if you got my worksheet that I sent out, the action guide, you got that if you signed up, and if you're watching this through the thank you page and you actually signed up for the list and got the workbook sent to you. So in that, I asked you to get a wedding or take your weekly sales and just pull them together. So if you happen to have that on hand, you can do this. Just take your total sale before tax. You're going to subtract what you spent on your flowers and supplies, and that's going to give you the number we're calling X here, right? But technically it's your profit before all your other expenses come out, right? So then we're just going to take this number, right, your profit on just the cost of flowers and supplies, and divide that by the total sale. And that's going to give you your profit margin. So let me show you it in real numbers. So here's a wedding that I did. I shared this wedding actually with my Patreon subscribers. So in this real wedding, the sale was $4,643 before the tax. The amount that I spent on flowers and supplies was $990. So now I take the total sale and subtract what I spent on flowers and supplies, and I get $3,653. So now I just take that profit, that $3,653, and divide it by the total sale. Or as I like to call it, divide the small number by the big number, okay? And that's going to give you a decimal point, right? So it comes to 0.78. And that decimal point equals a percentage, and that's the profit margin, okay? Let me know if that doesn't make sense to anybody out there. Let's see, Krista says, I'm just learning and starting, but my goal is to start and have a good way to figure it out. Yes. You know, when we start out on the good foot, right? Get on the good foot. Then you don't ever fall into a trap that a lot of florists fall into where they're overfilling from the beginning and they don't know how to course correct, right? They're overfilling and then they don't know, how do I now deliver less next week? Or how do I raise the price on this to charge what I actually should? When you start out on the good foot, like I did, right? Like I just assumed everybody knew this, you guys. I really did. I assumed anybody who sold flowers knew exactly how to price because I learned the exact same way every place I went. I never worked at a flower shop that did something different with their pricing. Everyone did it the same. So I really, really, really thought it was just so common knowledge, and it should be, right? And again, that's why I made flower math, because it should be. All right, Robin says, I'm hitting the similar margin of about 60 to 65%. So my industry standards on pricing to start might be a bit lower when I'm calculating my recipes and such. It could be that. It could also be that you just need to spend less, right? So sometimes it's not about raising our price. It's about keeping more of the money we're already making, Robin. That's often what I'm preaching to people is it's not about, selling more. It's about keeping more of the money that you already got paid. That's really what it comes down to. Let's see. Sharon says, for the COGS, should I add all the cost or just the cost of used flowers and supplies in my arrangement? So that's a great question. And the way I answer that is if you're buying it, right, for your wedding or special event, anything you bought is part of your COGS. So whether you threw it away, whether you put it on your table and you enjoyed it yourself, whatever you did with those flowers, if you bought it for the event, right, it's part of your COGS for these purposes. If you really went to the supplier and bought something just for yourself, not for the use for the wedding, well, then maybe that's the one bunch, right, that you don't include in your COGS here because you bought it for yourself. But I always charge the client for everything I buy. That's one of the tricky things about doing smaller weddings, right, is you still have to buy in quantity. So you have to figure out how do you use those flowers in the smartest way. Let's see. Marcus says, is the cost for your time in the markup on flowers and supplies, or do you charge for that time separately? So that's going to be part of your traditional formulas, right? You have your markups that you apply, and then you add a design fee onto anything that you arrange, right? And so that's where you get paid for your time. That's where you get paid for your designer's time or your time in that design fee. And then there's a question, how do you charge for foraging? To me, time is money, right? And foraging, first of all, there's so much to say about it. Like, make sure you're doing it legally, make sure you know what you're getting, make sure you're not picking poisonous plants. But there's time and value in you going out and foraging it. I tend to charge essentially what I would pay at my supplier. Like I just mark it up the same way. So me going out and getting you something doesn't necessarily make it cheaper. It just means that I didn't have to spend the money. It doesn't mean that the client gets it for free, right? Or that the client gets it for a discounted price. So if these real numbers make sense, right, I want you to notice something about the profit here, right? The profit margin on the cost of flowers and supplies is 78%, okay? That's not nothing, as they say. So this is why I don't want you to set a spending goal, right? A lot of people say, well, I spend 30%. Well, that's great. But if I spent 30%, I wouldn't have made that 78% profit. See where I'm going with this, you guys? So that's why it's so important that you don't set a spending goal and instead you set a profit goal. So the goal is always to make at least 70% on what you spent on flowers and supplies. This is across the board, at least 70%. If you can make more than 70%, like I made 78%, then you're really cooking with fire, right? The reason is because all of your additional expenses, your COGS, right? So the COGS we're talking about in these little formulas, just your cost of flowers and supplies. Your actual COGS, right, are everything else, your rent, utilities, what you pay other people who work for you. So that's why you need to capture as much of this profit margin as possible, because all your other expenses get paid out of what you make on your flowers and supplies. Sounds like a no-brainer when I say it that way, right? It's like you have to make the most possible money on what you sell because you have other expenses, right? That's what we're talking about here. So that's why it's so important to consistently maximize your profits by applying the markups and the design fees and then not overbuying. Remember my flower math motto, okay? It doesn't matter what you charge if you overbuy. You could charge a 3 times markup. You could charge a 4 times markup. You could charge a 5 times markup. But if you're overspending, you're never going to reach the margin potential, right? You're never going to maximize your margins if you overspend. It's really just that simple. So just yesterday, a florist wrote to me, because I was inviting your questions, obviously, and said, there are several seasoned florists in my area who heavily undercharge. And sometimes they're not even charging a 2 times markup. She goes, and a design fee? What's that? So I interpreted this as she knows what the design fee is, but her competitors are not charging it, right? So what say you, right? What say you to this, right? Several seasoned florists are heavily undercharging. So as Seth Godin says, competing on price is a race to the bottom. What do you do when you win that race, right? In other words, what happens when you are now the cheapest florist? Are you winning at anything at this point, right? You won the race to be the cheapest. Now what, right? Where do you go from there? It's, it's like I was just saying, it's way, way worse than starting out and then having to reverse. If you intentionally seek to be the cheapest, right? There's no coming back for that. There's just no coming back. Let's see. I see some more questions coming in. Yana says, total sale for your wedding includes delivery. This sale did include delivery. In my Patreon training, I broke it out where I didn't include the delivery. And I do that in Flower Math too, by the way, where I show you just on flowers and supplies, not delivery. On this particular wedding that I just showed you here, it was like 76% profit, not including the delivery charge, okay? But that's a really good question. We want to know, what numbers are we talking about, right? Are we talking about the wholesale? Are we talking about the sale without delivery? Are we talking about, like, was there a super high delivery fee, right? So all those things are going to play. So that's a great question. So yeah, setup and delivery are part of how you're going to reach your margin. That could be one of the things that you charge more for so that you get a higher overall percentage. But just on flowers and supplies, you should be able to reach a minimum of 70%. So your your delivery fees ideally would even be bringing you above that. It really depends on what your markup is though, because some people do charge a higher markup than others. So back to this question of like, what if we're only marking things up 2 times? What if you're a seasoned designer, right? Only marking things up 2 times and not doing the traditional 3 to 4 times markup. So if you're operating, say, at a 50% profit margin, here's how it breaks down, okay? If you currently operate with 50% profit on flowers and supplies, for every $30,000 you sell in your business, if you just followed the formulas to maximize your profit, you could actually keep $6,000 more of your profit for yourself. $6,000 more of what you already sold. It doesn't mean you're having to add $6,000 of sales. You could capture $6,000 more of the money you already earned, right? So when you stretch that out, say over 5 years in business, then that's $30,000 that you could keep in your business, in your pocket, right? What if you're selling $60,000 of flowers a year, right? If you're selling 60 grand and you're only operating at 50%, then you're losing $12,000 worth of your profit every year. So if you're not maximizing your profit over 5 years, that's $60,000 that you are just blowing. You're just opening the window and throwing it out, right? Because you're not maximizing your margin. So it's super duper important, super duper, super duper important that you really do focus on that 70% or more. I like to always make sure you recognize 70% is the floor of what I want you to aim for. When I'm at 69%, I'm like, man, I was so close. I'm not like, yeah, close enough, right? I want to be at like 73%, 74%, 78%. That's really the goal. You have to maximize your profit, or you end up like this, where you realize over years that you're losing a lot of money, okay? So think about like, what could you do with $30,000 or $60,000, right? You're talking about a college fund, vacations, retirement, paying off some debt. Maybe you buy some more plants for your garden. Maybe you take fewer gigs, right? You do fewer weddings, or you quit your second job, right? And it's all just because you're maximizing your profits. It's not necessarily that you have to do more, be more, sell more. It's just about being focused on the profit margin, okay? Again, always keeping in mind that your additional expenses come out of this margin, right? So that's why it's so important that you maximize this profit and you don't set a spending goal. You have to have the profit goal. So this is a little quick recap here of always tracking your numbers, right? If you just track your numbers, which is easy to do, and I just showed you how to do it, you're going to be more empowered and feel more informed about your decisions, right? If you just set a profit goal of at least 70% on flowers and supply costs, then you're going to be closer to maximizing your income. Because when we maximize your income just by following the industry standards, right? You're not overcharging, right? It's not something that's made up out of thin air. You're just following what our industry does. And then you also avoid overbuying, right? That's when you're going to truly maximize your income. That's my goal for you, is that you keep more of the money that you're already making. It's really, really, really just that simple. So, I don't know what brought you here today. It could be that you just want to confirm things that you already know. It could be that you're brand new to business, or you've never even tracked your profits before. So it's like, let's figure this out today. Maybe you just heard me recently, like on a podcast, or you learned about my flower mass sales, so you thought you would check it out. Whatever brought you here today, I'm really, really glad you're here. I appreciate you spending time with me. But the real reason I want you here is because I want you to know that maximizing the profit in your business is your business, right? I want you to get familiar with your business and your numbers, because it's how you're going to sustain or grow your business. If you want to pay yourself more, if you want to increase your profits, maximizing that profit margin is super important. And it's something that you can get started with right now, right? You don't have to wait and wonder or try to figure this out on your own. So most important to please remember that none of this is like fluff. It's not a theory. It's not something I made up. It's exactly what successful florists do to price their work and guarantee that they are maximizing their profits, right? So I've helped hundreds of florists around the world do the same thing. And when I talk to other successful florists that I know and trust, they confirm for me they are making these same margins too. So it's not something where I am just like pulling this number out of thin air and throwing it out at you as like it's fact. It's something that is known throughout the industry, like you can do this, right? So this is why it doesn't matter if you're a newbie or you're just somebody who's like, I'm not great at tech. You can take a step towards your profitability, right? And like it is time to take action if you're leaving money on the table, because I don't want you to be like the florist who's leaving, $30,000, $60,000 on the table. So when you just follow the really easy pricing formulas and you set a profit goal, you'll be able to maximize your margins on flowers and supplies. You're gonna make generating cash simple and a clear process for your business, because you understand I buy it for this, I sell it for that, right? You'll be able to up your income, again, sometimes without having to increase your sales, because you're gonna keep more money that you're already making. And I want you to feel confident when you're quoting weddings and pricing everyday arrangements. And the way that I found confidence and feel confidence is simply by following the standards, right? It's simply by doing what I was always taught and what I teach in flower math. So if there's like one thing to take away, it's that I have managed with my really, really small business, right? I am a one-woman show here. I've managed to maximize my profits from the very first day that I started my business, simply by following the standards, right? And keeping my buying in check. And it's the reason I've been able to run a business that I love for 18 years. And you can definitely maximize your income too once you set the profit goal and stop overbuying, right? Because it's twofold. It's these things going hand in hand together. So of course, the obvious question is, how can you make sure that you're keeping as much of your profit as possible in your business, right? You can troubleshoot based on some of the tips I gave you today. You might be able to just troubleshoot or learn through some trial and error, or you can do it really quickly using my flower math course, which is my pride and joy. It's my little baby. So what is flower math, right? Flower math is a complete step-by-step pricing roadmap, and it's designed to show you how to apply the proper markups, add that design fee, and maximize your profitability. So there are no missing steps, there's no confusion, and this is simply not like any other course. So what exactly is it, right? It's easy to follow, complete course you can access anytime. It starts with a breakdown and a review of the industry standard pricing formulas. These are formulas that I presume most florists know, but I put them in there for you because the course would be garbage if it didn't have this breakdown, right? So even though you're like, I know the formulas, I know the markups, I put them in there for you just in case there's something that you may have missed along the way. Then I show you how to create recipes, and I actually share with you real recipes from 6 real weddings, so you can see exactly how I price things, exactly how it breaks down. And then I show you how to keep your wholesale orders on point, or as I call them, tight and right, so that you can avoid overspending, because that's how you're going to maximize your income. And you can still create beautiful designs your clients will love while you are maximizing your profit margin, right? So like imagine that you know exactly how much you're going to charge your client. You are ordering from your wholesaler with confidence. You're reaching that profit goal on all of your events. And you're following recipes and creating beautiful work at the same time. I know a lot of people are like, I don't do recipes because I need to be creative. Recipes are where you keep your margin, right? Recipes or lack of recipe, right? That's where you lose your margin if you're not keeping your orders tight. And then finally, you'll be charging what you're worth, and that will feel rewarding because we really do work too hard. We really do. We love this work. We love it, but we work too hard doing all the things to run our business to just leave money on the table. So that's why I introduced Flower Math, introducing to you Flower Math, the Florist Guide to Pricing and Profitability. All you have to do is follow the steps. I could not make it easier for you. I show you exactly how to master your pricing and your profitability. And it's super duper easy. I've got everything in this course for you that you need to feel like you know exactly how to price. So what you get are real profit breakdowns on 6 weddings, including real invoices, what I spent, what I charged, and the pictures of the weddings. So you actually get to see what I charged and then what it looked like. I include video training, of course, because I always do video training. And that just walks you through the lessons. There's about 45 minutes of video training. You could like listen to this to and from your way to like your flower shop or your wholesaler and get a lot of information like in a very short period of time. I include pricing cheat sheets. These are a favorite. These are a fan favorite, as they say. This is stuff that always existed at flower shops when I worked there. This is how you and your employees know, like just at a glance, how much you have to fill a vase arrangement, a bridal bouquet, any arrangement that you make, a funeral order, anything that comes in your shop. I, of course, share the step-by-step pricing formulas. Like I said, you're going to get like 28 recipes from bouquets to arbors to hanging installations. I've got long table runners in there. I price all kinds of things from flower girl baskets to, like I said, you name it, everything in these 6 weddings. You get a full recipe, full breakdown, and pictures of everything. I'm going to give you tips on how to stop overbuying by showing you exactly how I put together my wholesale orders. You're going to have the full breakdown on markups, design fees, and you can decide for yourself where on this scale you want to charge. Do you want to charge a 3 times markup? Do you want to charge a 40% design fee? That's the kind of stuff that I walk you through as well. Then you're also going to get access to me if you have any questions. I'm here to support you and this course. So if you have questions about anything before, during, or after Flower Math, you just reach out and you will get an answer. I've even created video lessons that I've added to the course when somebody asks me a question, because I'm like, if they're wondering this, I might as well answer it for everybody. So you also have lifetime access to this course and updates. So anytime I update the course, like when I added, this course started with just 3 weddings. So over the years, I've added 3 more weddings to it. And if you bought Flower Math when I very first released it, you still have access to all of this new stuff that's in there too. So I like to keep the course alive so that you actually keep getting new stuff in there from time to time. Plus, you get bonuses. And these are also things I've added over time. So I share with you how I send an initial quote without going over budget. I share with you how I set minimum prices for weddings. And in fact, I share with you like all of my starting prices over like 16 years in my business and how they changed over the years, like when I started to give myself a pay increase or when it was time to raise the price on certain things. And then just during the fall sale, I've added this special bonus with my 5-day business plan jam session. So this is a fun and easy little jam session that I did with my Art of Good Business group. And I think you'll really like it too. It's sort of a fun look at how to do some basic business planning. And I call it my jam session because I play some ukulele for you in the in the course. So you get that as well. So of course it's like, how much will this cost, right? How much does it cost? There has never been a course like this offered for florists before. And if you're not pricing for profit, like we already discussed here, you're leaving money on the table on every order you make. And it adds up quickly, you guys. It really does. So there isn't another easy path to learn how to price like this other than through real life training at profitable flower shops. So that's really the only place where you can see this working in action. So the full retail price is $599. The sale price is $399. So you can save $200 off through this Friday. But right now, literally this minute, right now, you can get it for $350 just during this class. So this is a special bonus because you guys showed up here for me because you decided to spend your afternoon with me. I'm offering this special bonus today. It will expire at about 1:30 is when the price is going to change. So if you want to take advantage of it, please hop on it now. I'd love to see you get those special savings today. There's also a satisfaction guarantee on this course because I really, truly believe in providing value to you. It's really important to me that you get tremendous value out of my course. So if Flower Math doesn't answer all of your questions on pricing, all you have to do is get in touch with me and we can hop on a call. So if I can't address whatever pricing question you have at that point, I'll give you your money back. It's really that simple. So there's no risk to you. The florists who take my course love Flower Math, of course. And actually just this morning, Kirsten wrote to say, Allison Ellis taught me a better way to think about flowers and I can't ever go back. I'm confident with my pricing. I don't overorder and my clients respect me and my business. Flower Math is worth your time and money. Do it. So if I could have paid someone to write a perfect review, she would have been my girl. But seriously, Kirsten just sent that to me this morning and I was like, this is it. This is perfect because this is what I want for you. Confident in your pricing, not over ordering, clients respect you, right? And feeling like your time and money was worth it. That is my goal. That is always my goal. Kelly also reviewed Flower Math. And she said, I loved Allison's Flower Math course. I learned so much and put it into practice immediately. I saw an increased profit margin with my very first event following the course. I'm not going to lie, pricing was not my strong suit at all, but I continue to practice Allison's pricing strategy and I'm feeling more confident with each event. Thanks, Allison, for sharing your experience and step-by-step method in this course. And then Erin said, I can't recommend Flower Math enough. She said, I took it when I was a newbie and it literally paid for itself in my first wedding post course. So worth the investment. And that is, again, that is why I made this course because you can see the return very quickly in your business, especially if you're not pricing correctly right now, you're going to see that return right away. Faye Flowers said, I took Allison's Flower Math course and I'm so thankful I did. It has boosted my income and made me more confident in pricing every day and wedding flowers. Because that's often a question I'll get. Is this just for weddings? So while I use weddings as the example, these formulas are for anything that goes out of your business, absolutely anything. So I always love hearing like, I'm confident in my weddings and other stuff too, because I know not everybody is just a wedding florist. So Faye says that she sent out a quote the other day, and after receiving a message back from the person she quoted, she realized that she's now pricing on industry standards. So that is super, again, that's my goal. And Claire wrote just the other day in another group to say, if anyone needs help with pricing or anything business related, I highly recommend Real Flower Business with Allison Ellis. She breaks down topics and easy to understand posts, lessons, content, and never makes the students feel like she's only trying to sell an expensive course on the back end. No bait and switch. She's awesome and supportive. So that was really nice of her to say. And that is also why I was very upfront with you about what I'm selling here today, because I'm not here for bait and switch. I'm here to help you get the tools you need. And if I have those tools, it's my job to make sure you know that they're available to you. So real quick, here's a recap of what is included in Flower Math. You're going to get real weddings, 6 of them, broken down, including profits and invoices. You get the video training that walks you through everything, pricing cheat sheets, the formulas, the recipes for all 6 weddings, how to stop overbuying so that you keep more of the money you're already making, markups and design fees, answers to your question, and lifetime access plus updates. Plus you get the bonuses. When you see how I send a quote, that initial quote without coming in over budget, that's going to give you insight into how you're selling the wedding as well. When you see how I set the minimum prices, you'll understand maybe how you want to set your minimum prices. Or you may find that your minimum prices are already even higher, right? So it'll give you a gauge of where things start and how they might grow over time. Plus you get my 5-day business plan jam session, which, like I said, is just sort of fun and really, really important to look inside your business from time to time and decide, what is it that I am doing right now? What can I do better? What can I be stronger at? And what am I excelling at right now? What am I really, really good at? So now is the time to take some action, right? I want you to track your profits on weddings. I want you to track your profits on your weekly sales. I want you to aim for that profit goal, not a spending goal, right? And of course, I want you to take action and take advantage of that special price just for being here live. If you're ready to jump into Flower Math, it is ready for you and it is on sale right now. So that special price is really just for live people. I'm going to hop in and see any questions that you sent here, and feel free to add questions right now. Pardon me. If you have any questions right now. So let's see. I'm going to look through your comments here. I missed some comments here. Yes. Let's see. Marcus says, yes, it's easier to lower the price if you don't get any clients than to raise the price if you want higher budget clients. It's so true. Let's see. Nancy says, I have Flower Math and this program is the best money I have spent. Oh, thanks, Nancy. I now look at profit first. I purchased this program to validate my business and to give me the confidence to charge correctly. Thank you, Nancy. Thanks for tuning in. I love when Flower Math people still tune in for additional pricing stuff, because it's so important to keep ourselves focused on the profit stuff. So thanks so much, Nancy. Let's see. I am having trouble reading your name. Leo says, thank you so much, Allison. You're welcome. Hillary just says, ordered it, hoping it helps me quote out a wedding I'm working on now. Oh, yay, Hillary. I hope so too. I am truly here to support the course. So if you get in there and you have any questions, feel free to get in touch. The truth is, I don't get a lot of questions. I feel like I really have laid it out there for you. But if you do have questions for me, definitely do not hesitate. Do not hesitate to get in touch. Marcus says, just joined the Flower Math Club with support from my partner. Oh, yay, Marcus. I'm so glad to have you. I really am very honored to have you in the course. That's so exciting. Hillary says, I just need help getting more clients. You know what, Hillary, we'll talk more about that. I'm going to actually talk more about that in the next upcoming months. We're going to talk more about how we get clients, how we attract clients. So I'll have some training on that for you too, some free training on that too. And Tara J says, do you know if the same industry standards apply to Canada? So yes, they do. You know, florists have actually taken Flower Math all around the world, really. I've had people take the course from, I'll get rid of my screen share now. I've had people take the course in, I think it was like 9 countries the last time I counted. So what's really, really, to me, the thing that's universal is it doesn't matter what currency you work in, the way that the flower math formulas are applied, whatever currency you're in, you'll apply the markup, you'll apply the design fee. And like, again, just the way that the proportions work out, you'll still end up with the same profit margin. In places where you might have, there are some places where you buy flowers where you get a really great price, like better than I get here in Vermont. Some countries where like you're closer to like the flower auctions, and so you don't have the same kind of shipping rates and stuff that you pay. So it's all proportional, right? The more you pay, the more you have to charge. And I also give you some guidance on, like, again, like if you're foraging or wherever you're getting your flowers from, how you might consider how to charge for your time. In terms of actually how to apply the markups, though, I've had people in Canada take the course, and yes, they use the exact same formulas. If you have any other questions for me, you guys don't hesitate to be in touch. I know I missed a question earlier from a flower farmer. I saw a question earlier on flower farming. So there's too many comments for me to find it right now, but let me tell you the short answer to how does a flower farmer like apply the flower math. So if you're retailing, if you're going to do weddings and events, there's really no reason that you can't price like a florist, or at least make sure you're capturing the design fee that you're owed for your time. So, excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water instead of barreling through. What you're going to do is, I have tips in there actually for flower farmers, because I know that you go, well, I don't know what I'm going to have available next week, or I'm going to be using some of this and some of this, but I don't know how many stems. I've got tips in flower math for you on how to basically make placeholders for what stems you're going to use, what value you're going to assign to those flowers, so that you can feel like you're filling an order to value with some guidance. I used to work at an organic flower farm, and I remember when I started there, it was sort of like, we just put in this many stems for market bouquets, but it wasn't like, and one of them is a focal, and one of them is this, and one of them is that. That's the kind of thing I'm going to help you with. You want to think about, you have a $3 stem, you have a $5 stem, you have a $2 stem, and how do you work out your formulas from there? So I don't teach you in flower math like how to price your wholesale flowers. That's not what I do, but I'll teach you how to think like a flower shop and add that design fee and capture that money that you're owed for your time. And let me know if you have more questions on that. Alyssa says, where do we go to buy the course? So right on my website, you will find it. Also right on this page where you're watching this live stream, you should see a little button that's like early bird pricing. And it's going to be up for like the next 20 minutes. So if you don't see that button, you should see it. It should be there. It should appear. But why don't I do this? I'm going to add a link for you right in the comments so that you can head right over to buy it, and you won't miss out on the special price. That's a link right there to buy. And Marcus says, some small scale flower growers aren't familiar with wholesale prices. How would you spend and mark up from such growers? Well, it's always important to know what they're selling it for, how many stems you're getting, so that you know what the price per stem is. And I walk you through all that in flower math, of course. So once you know what your price per stem is, then you know what you need to retail it for. If what you're saying is these people are not selling at a good price, and so it's too high for you to sell, then maybe it's worth a conversation. Like, hey, on my end, I need to sell this for X. So is there any way that I can buy it from you for Y? And maybe the answer is, heck no, Marcus, I'm already giving you my best price, right? Or maybe the answer is, oh yeah, sure, if you buy 10 bunches of it or something like that, right? So a lot of times the answer is, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation about the pricing. Why is it what it is? I don't like to try to negotiate with flower farmers. I think they work too hard. And if you're buying like super fresh product direct, respecting that it is like hard-earned product that they worked really hard for. And then sometimes it does become like, can I actually retail this? There will be problems like that from time to time. Krista says, great, thank you. You're so welcome. And Alyssa says, just purchase, thank you. Oh, Alyssa, thank you so much. I'm so excited to have you inside the course. It is truly my my life's mission to help florists make more money in your business. Not because, like I say, not because this is a path to get rich, right? It's a path to have a business that you love, doing art and work that you love and enjoy, and you can maximize your margin so that even if you have another job, or if you are, you're going to transition to floristry, it's just like not right now, right? You have everything laid out for you. You know the steps to take. And if you've been doing this for a long time and you ran your numbers and you're at 50% profit margins, or if you're at 60 or 65 like Robin, it's just a matter of some small tweaks. But those small tweaks are going to go a long way. Because while I was working with in our presentation, like, hey, well, if you had $30,000 worth of sales at 50% profit, right, you could be keeping $6,000 more dollars for yourself. What if your sales are $100,000? Like, even if you're only losing 5% or 10%, that adds up a lot, right? That adds up too. So I really want you to think about that profit goal, if nothing else. That's what I want you to think about. Marcus says, in Sweden, some sell by weight or by diameter of the bunch and not by stem price. Yes. Okay. So that is just tricky. Same thing for greenery sometimes, right? We buy by the bunch or by the box, and it's not necessarily by the stem. And so then what you'll do is you will price by the bunch, right? So let's just say you bought a bunch of something and you paid $10 for it. Then you would charge $30 for the bunch. And then it's just a matter of how many different arrangements does that $30 worth of product get broken down into, right? So for example, if I had 10 arrangements that I was going to add a little bit of this bunch to, right, then each one would be $3 worth, right? That's basically how I would look at it. Hillary says, thank you so much for offering this special sale. Oh, you're so welcome. I am truly, truly honored that you're joining, and I'm so happy to offer this special sale. When it was like, it's my 5th anniversary of Flower Math, you guys. Like, this is a really big deal to me. I got the idea, like I said in my presentation, I got the idea for this course after seeing florists who really appeared successful. They were busy, they were booked, had lots of clients, and they weren't sure about their pricing. And I just went, that cannot be. That just cannot be. There is no reason for it. So I went from this idea of like, boy, I could help people to, I learned how to make I didn't know how to make an online course, you guys. And trust me, if I knew that I would have to sell this online course, I might not have made it, right? Because the selling of it is way harder than the making of the course. But I do love it, right? And it's worth showing up here. And I do love talking to you guys about what I have to offer here, so that if it's good for you, if it's the right fit, you know it exists, right? And you know that you can get in there. And you get this great special price just this week. So, and super special price just right now. So Yeah, I'm really honored that you're here, and I appreciate you appreciating the sale price, because it means a lot to me to have you sign up. All right, Marcus says, great, with a thumbs up. And Kaylee says, thank you for all of the information thus far. This has been super helpful, and I know it's just a sneak peek of all Flower Math has to offer. Thanks, Kaylee. Yes, it is. And again, I can't say it enough. If you sign up and you have questions, don't hesitate to get in touch. If you have questions before signing up, don't hesitate to get in touch. I am truly here to support the course. You know, you may not be familiar with me. I may be new to you. This may be your first time tuning in with me, but people who have been following me for a while, you know, this is me. This is my flavor. I'm the real person. I'm the real deal behind this course. It's not something that I just made. Again, like, Flower Math isn't to teach you a get rich quick scheme. And Flower Math isn't a get rich quick scheme for me. If it were, I would only offer it once a year. I would have it at $5.99 always, and there wouldn't be a discount on it. And you wouldn't be able to get the course unless I was launching it. But I'm really seriously passionate about having this available all the time to people. And so that's why you can get Flower Math anytime, right? It is always there, because if you want to be profitable in your business, I have a course to help you. How could I possibly hold that back, right? Behind a paywall, like, well, you can't get it except for when I'm launching, right? So that's why I don't do what most course creators do and keep it locked up so you can't get it. I have it available for you because I want you to have the information, because I know it'll make you more profitable. And so even if it means that I don't sell as much because I'm not pumping it and making that pressure, I'm okay with that, because it's for the people who need it. It's there. But I'm really psyched to be able to pump it and push it during a sale where you can save $200 during this week. So that's why I'm here. Thank you guys so much for being here. I don't see any more questions coming in, so I'm going to wrap it up. Again, I could not possibly thank you enough for tuning in. Thanks so much for your purchases. Thanks so much for your excitement and enthusiasm around this. And I will keep the early bird pricing up until 1:30. Okay. So you have a couple of minutes after this. If you're like, I gotta give my kid a snack and then go buy that thing, you still have a few more minutes to do it. And then the price is just going to be the sale price, $3.99. So you're still going to get the sale price. It's just that live offer is going to go away at 1:30. Oh, Caroline says, just signed up from the UK. Oh, thanks so much, Caroline. Thank you so much. I'm truly honored to have everybody here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking through my tech problems at the beginning, you guys. Like, seriously, you guys didn't even tune out when I had the tech problems. That hits me in my heart. I'll never forget you for that. All right, you guys, keep doing beautiful work. I'll see you inside Flower Math. And don't hesitate if you have questions for me. I'll hop right on over to my email. So if you do have a question, I can address it today. Okay. Thanks so much. See you next time.